Hello, good evening, and welcome back. On this 19th anniversary of 9/11, I think it's worth remembering, of course, the people who lost their lives, but also, in a more optimistic way, the English and American, by extension, spirit shown facing hardship. And perhaps it is even just a human trait globally that if you face an injustice, there will be some people who have those character traits that will rise up, that will not take it lying down, that are nice until they're not. And this is an example of that. With every tragedy, there is retribution waiting to happen. And this is an example of that. So from the Daily Mail, we've got the Navy SEAL who helped kill Osama bin Laden, who reveals how the harrowing memory of people jumping out of the World Trade Center on 9/11 gave him the courage to go through with a mission he didn't expect to survive. And for those of you who don't know, I know so many war stories, Victoria Cross winners, all that fantastic stuff. The sheer bravery that was shown, the courage in the face of the enemy, it is outstanding. And the sheer the lack of care for their own lives while doing their job and protecting those around them is incredibly inspirational. And it really, really makes you question if you would be capable of such a feat if you were in their situation. It is incredible. So I really, really do encourage you to look through Victoria Cross stories. And Jeremy Clarkson being my favourite presenter, I really do encourage you to look through his main two Victoria Cross winner documentaries. I really, really recommend it. So if you're not doing much over this weekend, spend a couple of hours, go through those. You will thoroughly enjoy it for every patriot who's watching this. And in a very, very similar vein, that whatever terrorist has planned, whether or not you believe that it was Osama bin Laden behind 9/11 or a Jewish conspiracy or globalization or whatever it was, I think we can all agree Osama bin Laden had forfeited his right to live. We can pretty much agree on that. Whether or not he was behind 9/11, if you don't believe that, whatever it might be, he had forfeited his right to live. That is pretty much an acceptable fact. What is also an acceptable fact is that some people, some humans, particularly men, when they see their countryfolk, the people that they live to support, going through such a harrowing experience that results in their death, they will not take it lying down. And if you're seeing your countryfolk, those people that you support and know are responsible for the country you live in, decide that suicide is better than the death inflicted upon them by terrorists, then that is going to change something deep within you. And that is what this is about. Because as great as government intervention might be, it pales in comparison to the individual civilian act made by individuals. You cannot stop terrorism from governmental overreach. It is impossible. But you can stop terrorism from individual action, from individual people saying, we're not going to accept that, from fighting back against it. And if you have a collection of these patriots, chances are they're going to be joining the army. And when they come face to face with the ultimate sacrifice, they understand what their fellow citizens have gone through before them. And they incredibly selflessly say, well, if they went through it, then we're going to put our lives on the line as well. Because everybody should have that standard that when it comes to it, you will willfully die for what you believe in. Winston Churchill said that a good soldier does not fight because of what is in front of him, but because of what is behind him. And we've seen time and time again, and you could use Gary Plauché as an example of parents who have found their children being victims of paedophiles, and they will not take it lying down. They will turn heaven and earth until they track down who is responsible and make them accountable for the horrendous shit that they have done. And this is just another example of that. So we've got Navy SEAL Robert O'Neill, who has opened up about the fateful May 2011 mission. He was a member of the team who took down terrorist leader Osama bin Laden. The Al-Qaeda architect of the 9/11 attacks was hiding in Abbottabad, Pakistan. O'Neill admitted that he thought he would not come back from the risky mission. For all the people who stress about their individual work lives, to then go, yeah, so it's not that I'm going to have a bad day and face rejection and a boss that I don't like. But no. If I go on this job, chances are I won't live. I will actually die. I will not have any life left after this. It will not be a slightly annoying life with a boss I don't like. But no. I am literally not coming back from this. I will be dead at the end of the day. Such a huge difference from people who live in air-conditioned offices. And he said the memory of people jumping off the World Trade Center motivated him. And I think we should all take a moment to just think about that. That I'm sure we all remember where we were when we heard about 9/11, but just think of the people who willfully killed themselves because of the alternative. And then the soldiers on the front line thinking, well, I remember exactly what happened on 9/11 when the terrorists crashed into the buildings. And I remember seeing the people willfully commit suicide. And I am not going to stand for this. I will not accept that these people have died for no reason. These people will be avenged and will have the retribution that they deserve. And actually going through with it, actually having a mission, going into the heat of the battle in the dead of the night and going after the people responsible is amazing. And yeah, of course, as individuals, we are responsible for keeping ourselves and our families and society safe. Yes, of course. And if a terrorist does try to do something, then we are responsible for trying to stop them. But to take the battle to them, to understand that you're in enemy territory, to understand that, yeah, you might have gotten away with it as the ringleader, but you will not get away with it for long. To then delve into that enemy territory, put your life on the line for it, is an amazing accomplishment. And I am full of praise for these gentlemen who went in understanding that they would probably die protecting their country, protecting those that they love, that they're not going to come back, thinking that, hey, you know, they're Osama bin Laden, he's going to kill himself, he's going to become a martyr, I'm not coming back, I'm going to have to write a letter to my loved ones saying, here's what's happened, here's why I've decided to go on this mission, you're reading this because I've died, here are some instructions for you in order to go on after I've died. To actually put pen to paper, acknowledging that you will not be around when that letter is read, to understand the emotions that your loved ones will be going through because of the mission you're going on, in order to keep everybody else safe. You are willingly, knowingly sacrificing your life for those around you. That is such a difficult situation that the vast majority of us will never find ourselves in. And yet, we have the gall to complain that, oh, our boss is being a bit mean. So, well, bloody hell. You have a job. You're able to survive in a first world country. You're not sacrificing your life. It seems okay. If it's really that bad for you to complain about it, how's about you go and find a different job then? We got no time for these complainers. And read Jocko Willink's book if you need some more motivation in that department. But moreover, we did find, of course, that the fourth flight, which had been delayed because of the known terrorist hijacking, Flight 93, I believe, which was attempted to be hijacked, was then taken back from the passengers. It crashed in Pennsylvania, but it did not hit its target, which was believed to maybe be the Pentagon again. Maybe it was Tower 7, which had already gone down. Maybe it was the White House. Who knows? But it was brought down. Flight 93, there we are, was subdued from the 4 hijackers by the 33 passengers and 7 crew members and crashed near Shanksville, Pennsylvania at 10:03 a.m. Because it took off after the other terror attacks were known of. So they were more prepared to fight back. And it is a tragedy to know that they did all die doing it. But for anybody involved, I can almost guarantee you that they were content with the decision that they'd made. And chances are you won't be in this situation, but it is worth understanding what you would do in that situation. So you should make that decision now. Would you rather die for what you believe in, knowing that you're keeping other people safe, or live from a hostage situation and knowing that you're a coward, knowing that you would back out and other people around you would be hurt, maybe killed because of your inaction? Which would you prefer? Because there are fates worse than death. And putting torture aside for one moment, living without regret for decades afterwards, tearing you up inside, I think is probably worse than crashing into a field. But neither option are preferable, but bloody hell, that is the way terror attacks are stopped. Knowing that the individuals will fight back, because if you have an armed populace, if you have people who are willing to fight back, then no terrorist whatsoever will be willing to try and take them out, because they know that as soon as they try some stupid shit, most likely for the abhorrent ideology of Islam, then they will be taken out incredibly quickly. Sure, they can know where the police are or private security guards, and they can know that they're 2 hours away, but the civilians that they're trying to target will fight back immediately, take them to the ground and choke them the fuck out. That is the society you need in order to stop these terrorists. And I'm so bloody proud as well of our armed services. Of course, this is an American story, but British Army as well, to know that they will face the enemy on their own terms, on their home turf, and they will come out ahead. They will liberate these people in their concentration camps, their torture chambers, and they will take out the kingpin responsible. And they will happily, willfully, knowingly risk their lives doing so. And that kind of ultimate sacrifice is something that most of us cannot clearly imagine. And yet they do it. Every day. So thank you. Thank you to all our armed forces, domestically, overseas, first responders, and all of you good people who make sure that we get to keep our lives going and pretend that our mild complaints of a boss we don't like are actually meaningful in the grand scheme of things, while you make sure that we have food to eat, we're not being attacked, and we've got water to drink. Thank you so much to you all. And as always, to everybody else, until next time, have a good one.